Hello everyone and welcome to Captain's Log number 3, stardate Friday, August 6th.
What up?
We're not so sophisticated, we're not so far in the future yet that we've like completely detached from Earth time, you know?
We've only still got just smartphones, just the basic
still
smartphones.
got smartphones, yeah. Actually, we've been having some arguments about that internally, like exactly how far in the future everything's supposed to be happening. I'm thinking near future, so that's like relatable, but
I'm thinking like half a millennia ahead.
Well, Vogu is doing like 1,000 years in the future.
Okay.
Right?
So we need to plump ourselves somewhere.
Well, we'll come into that in a minute, but like we're planning on doing like a Vogu's sort of narrative crossover, right? And I think we're going to have to do time travel. I don't know whether Vogu's travel to the past or we travel to the future.
This is really interesting because the collabs that we're going to be doing with projects, this is just us just talking randomly, but the collabs that we're doing with project guys is we're going to try and add different projects, avatar projects and whatever they may be to our lore and our storyline and all that sort of stuff. So it just hit me right now. Maybe there'll be a timeline of like a collaborated universe where we exist somewhere, Vogu exists somewhere, and across that. That's pretty cool.
Oh my goodness. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Captain's Log. If this is your first time here, then I don't know what you're doing. You should probably go back and watch the other two because they're fantastic. But Matty is our captain, at least outside of the fiction. Our captain inside of the fiction. I'm sorry, she's a lot better looking.
I know.
She's
I am jealous.
And I'm Michael. I'm, I guess, the communications officer. I guess that would be my title on the ship. I've really been thinking about it. It's a difficult one.
Social manager, the man.
Do you think there'll be social media in space when we're spacefaring?
A different type, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll communicate differently.
So what have we been doing since the last log?
We've been doing a lot.
Yeah.
We can go through a lot of our points, but the last log I think was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And every time we do a log, again, if you're new, we kind of go through all the stuff we worked out over the last 2 to 3 weeks. And hopefully in the space of the year, we'll have 20-25 logs, and each time we'll give you guys everything. You know, we'll talk about, put it all on the table. We love to be transparent. We love to get feedback. I think that's the most important thing.
So from my side, we've been doing a lot of collabs. We did some Vogu stuff, and I know you went like pretty bullish on Vogu. You like aped in after the drop.
I was, with the Metakey project, we got to explore different stuff, right? So the avatar projects started to become very exciting to me when I started to realize that they're bootstrapping communities. Within 24 to 48 hours, you have an invested community with 10,000 unique pieces, ideally thousands of members, and they're excited to do things. So Vogu, they had their drop, and I know it kind of went a bit bad in the sense of, I think people were minting before it went live and all that sort of stuff. Obviously, they're doing really well now. And so I bought 15 or something Vogus on the secondary market. So someone bought them for 0.08. And I bought them off that guy for 0.3 and 0.4. I was on the phone while doing this, so I don't think I was thinking that straight. And the next day or two, when the proper sale happened, it looked like the floor was 0.4 anyway. So I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. They've been doing great. They've got an awesome community. I've been watching their project for a long time because it's a lore-driven project. It's about this narrative and building this narrative trajectory over like a bunch of different mediums over, several years. Ideally. So we did some giveaways with them, and as we mentioned, we're kind of planning like some sort of crossover event, and I want to do that probably in Sandbox, actually have like a little kind of quest that kind of crosses over. I think that would be really fun. So we did that. We did some stuff with Alice in Wonderland, Australian DJ. She's an absolute legend. We did another free drop. We did the free drop of the robes.
So every Metakey holder got a free Alice in Wonderland robe that is wearable in Decentraland, but it's also a ticket to her future events, whatever they may be. So if you own the robe, then it's kind of a ticket. It'll scan that you own it when you open her door to a church or whatever venue she builds. And hopefully she's going to be part of the space for a very long time. And it's her first set of NFTs, I believe.
Yeah, she's got a pretty detailed roadmap for this Wonder Quest. She wants to... she sold these dragon eggs which have hatched now. She wants to like gamify the dragons in some way. But as they stand right now, they're another like generative PFP project, which is pretty interesting. So we gave away some of those. We did a CyberKongs giveaway, which was massive. It was absolutely ridiculous. Like, have you seen the floor on CyberKongs?
CyberKongs, I think, all I know is that they're doing really well.
Yeah.
Like the floor and the community, and I think some of the stuff we gave away was like $10,000 or something.
Yeah.
Did we give that away? We ended up giving it away?
Yeah. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Our giveaways have been awesome, guys. So the way the Metakey works is we try and serve our community, and whoever we collaborate with, they give us some free stuff so we can just give it away, do a little fun competition. So some people have gotten Vogus that they've opened up some really rare ones. Some people have got CyberKong, some people have got American Psycho cards, and whoever knows what kind of projects come our way. And hopefully everyone will kind of win something over their time being a Metakey holder.
Yeah, they also, we did an integration with them where their new drop for their Kongs have they can get Metakey jumpsuits, which I think was really fun. Yeah, that was really cool. And I think we're planning on doing some stuff in Sandbox and all kinds of stuff with them as well.
So again, if you're kind of new to our project, we have a 576 piece land in the Sandbox, which is the biggest possible size that you could ever buy. I believe the most recent one sold for like 3 million sand, I think a couple $1 million USD or something. Wow. So we own one, and the way we're going to use it is open it up for the community to use it. We internally will use it for some of our games, for our lore. But the awesome thing is every time we collaborate with someone, Vogu or CyberKongs, whoever it may be, we'll be making joint games or joint experiences, whatever they may look like. It could be a shooting game, it could be a soccer game, a football game. So it's exciting. The future is really just collaborating with everyone in the space, which I think is pretty cool.
Absolutely. Another one I did the other day was with NFT Dungeon, created by Sam Ellis. He was one of the kiosks for Archer and for Adventure Time. And he's got these randomly generated characters, these adventurers, which have basically RPG stats, right? And they give you access to his community where he drops these modules for RPG games that you can run mostly as Dungeons and Dragons, but like whatever kind of RPG game you want to play. So we did the first one of those live the other day, and that was so much fun. That guy is so funny.
Nice. I heard you just laughing the whole 2 hours.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I'm gonna have some highlights up on the YouTube channel here on that real soon, but that was great. And we're in the talks with them about actually building a space in Decentraland where they can have like perhaps monthly game nights, right? Where a lot of people that are interested in tabletop RPG games can just sort of come and we'll have some volunteer dungeon masters. We'll have some basic like tabletop simulator stuff where you can like roll dice and stuff in Decentraland, and just have this kind of like basement space where people can hang out and play games. Yep. Which I think is going to be a lot of fun. So I think that was like the major collabs that we've actually been like pushing out publicly. I want to talk about Shark Tank. I wanted to do Shark Tank basically today before this new lockdown got announced in Melbourne. But we last time we'd just made this Shark Tank proposal form, and we got a bunch of like really interesting proposals. I've gone through and talked to people that have proposed and gotten some pitches, and we basically got like a short list. We've got 3 or 4 people that we're going to have on this first session, and we're kind of mapping out what the session is going to look like, how it's going to proceed, how the sort of like voting mechanisms are going to work. You're putting aside $1,000 for each session, and what we're proposing at the moment is that we're going to have the panel, the sharks. They're going to be able to allocate their favorite project, are the ones that pitch. Then the community, the Metakey holders, are going to be able to allocate one as well. And then we split that like down the middle, basically 500 and 500. But there's some really interesting pitches that I've seen in there. And I'm like so excited to get started on Shark Tank. It's going to be so
epic.
Cool.
There you go.
Yeah, there's some really like, it's going to be difficult for you guys in the community to decide which of these is the best, because there's some really innovative stuff.
So how do we stream this so that everyone can view? So you'll be on Twitch?
Yeah, so we'll be streaming it. We'll be streaming it to the Metakey Twitch, and we will be in Decentraland in the Shark Tank, and we'll be showing the stream up on the screen as well, so we can encourage people to come and watch in DCL or to hang out on the Metakey Twitch. And then we'll be putting it on YouTube as well later on. Yeah.
Because one thing you have with DCL, although the concept is awesome, community is awesome, is that some people, it lags for some people when they go on into the world, and they don't have the best experience.
And you can only have 100 people in the instance as well.
Yeah. So it clocks out at 100 people, then you get bumped over to another server.
Mm-hmm. So obviously, like the DCL, the client, when they finally release it, is going to help like mitigate a lot of those issues. They really kind of throttle themselves by keeping it on in browser. But
the cool thing about DCL is it's kind of like an experimental playpen, right? We can experiment with maybe people pitching ideas and them selling NFTs then and there, and us maybe buying it straight from DCL, or them having a tip jar and we can tip as a community. And we, later on, as this concept of the Shark Tank, which is a venue we have in DCL on our land, and we're going to have pitching and a sort of investor or slash, bring your ideas to life slash us kind of helping fund that sort of relationship happening. It'll evolve over time. So this will be the first event, which will be pretty fun.
Yes, it's been a long time coming, but it's chugging away in the background, and it's going to be epic. It's going to be
one of the many venues we're going to have in DCL, guys.
Yes,
and the Sandbox. So the idea is to have conference centers, museums, art galleries, Shark Tank, everything that serves the community, from them being artists, from them being gamers, etc. And we'll just open it up to the whole community to use. Ideally, we'd be probably holding 5 to 10 events a week. Having event organizers and stuff. So that's the direction the Metakey is going, is really existing on like a event basis.
So speaking of community value, we're also like getting pretty close to launching the Metacademy. You did a series of, I think, what was it, 5 videos?
I think 4 videos.
4 or 5.
I think I might add a couple more to that.
And basically we had to decide whether we were just going to like push that out and launch it with just that and then kind of build on top of that, or whether we wanted to like hit the ground running like really hard with more like a lot more content, right? And I think we decided to go for the latter. We've got Craig from the community. He's a small business owner in Florida who's done some really good courses on basically like diving in, like setting up your small business in Web3 and like actually finally like taking the dive.
Can you tell them what Metacademy is real quick, just in case they don't know?
Yeah, go ahead. What's Metacademy, Matty?
So Metacademy, guys, is one of the many things that we're building. And this is basically a database or a portal which you, with the Metakey, can enter. If only if you have the Metakey, when you press login or sign in, will it open. When it does open, there'll be a bunch of different courses that we will continuously add to, whether it be community members or professionals outside of us, and courses on the NFT crypto space or whatever we want. So we've got, as you were saying, we got Craig from the community. We've got people that have run Axie Infinity scholarship businesses, making tens of thousands of dollars a month. He's doing a course. We've got someone who's a blockchain gamer. Built a social profile, doing a course on how to find blockchain games. We've got someone internally, Vic, is going to maybe do one on how to build your own cryptocurrency token or how to mint NFTs and something on the dev side of things. This set of courses, and obviously I'm doing stuff about investing or kind of exploring different virtual land and art and all that sort of stuff. But imagine if you buy a Metakey as a newbie into the NFT space or the crypto space, and suddenly you have all these curated courses specific to how to get started in everything NFT related. That's the whole idea of it. And again, this is one of the many products that you'll be getting with any of the Metakeys that you buy.
So one thing, I'm going to twist Billy's arm into doing one about generative PFP projects. And I'm going to get him and Vic to kind of collaborate on a course where they actually walk people step by step. Like, here's what you got to do with the art and how you've got to structure your layers, right? And all the way through to like, here's what you do with the contract and how you mint it, right? I think that would be like really valuable. Because there's so many people that want to do these avatar projects. Like, it's absolutely exploded. But there's not really much information out there about how to go about doing it.
Totally.
So we got Metacademy. We've got
the Cryptoatpulse.
Yeah. We've launched that as well. That's happening. So,
do you want to quickly show how it works?
Yeah, we can show how it works.
Is there an ad that's live at the moment? I'm not sure.
I don't know if there's an ad that's live at the moment, but
we can pop it up actually.
I think let's go ahead and pop up.
So Cryptoatpulse.com is a website that me and Moz H&M founded maybe 4 or 5 months ago when the art space was booming. And basically, it's a website where it pulls a feed on live time on everything NFT, on NFT Gateway, Super Rare, Known Origin. Every time an artist makes a sale, it tells you the most recent sale, the profit and loss based on the sale previous to that, which platform, the time of the sale, blah, blah, blah. And you could search. So basically, Michael, if you just want to click Show Options at the bottom,
Yep.
And then in the artist section, maybe just type FEWO, F-E-W-O.
Yeah, that's fine.
So if you search any artist, it'll tell you their sales in recent times. So you can see if you can see the last sale column, you can kind of see the growth as of recent. So you can see this one is selling for $2,200 as of the last 24 hours. If you scroll all the way down, you look at the same piece, you can see 4 days ago it was selling for $1,250, second last. So you can kind of see the progression of pricing, right? Now, this is one of our websites, and we'll probably go on to make many, many websites because we're web developers by kind of just passionate about it. But it also has an ad banner, which it's not displaying at the moment. But beneath that Cryptoatpulse logo is kind of like an ad banner, right? And you can now, if you have the Metakey, actually upload your ad.
Down to here.
Yep. So you click advertise, you click connect your Metakey, so it was pretty cool. You can connect with Wallet Connect or the Metakey. Once you connect, look at that. So the key masters can get 7 days in the month.
7 days out of every month.
I didn't even know that. That is so cool.
Yeah.
So Keymaster, guys, is someone that owns all 3 Metakeys. The Ultimate, the Artifact, and you can see now we are doing a little bit of differences based on the Metakey you own, and we're trying to give value to the ones that own the Genesis and then the Artifact, Ultimate, and those that own all of them. But going forward, from now onwards, none of the Metakeys will be collector's editions. They will all have the same utility. But the early ones, you can see there's a little bit of speciality in ownership of them. And this is something we're going to continuously build into where it makes sense. We don't want to make it too exclusive or too kind of OP, but we do want to make it a little bit of an edge so it gives value to the early supporters, right? We appreciate that people where there was not much noise about the Metakey, they were finding and investing or buying us. So, but basically, you can book an ad spot if you have the Metakey, which is one of the many things that we'll be doing with the project.
And we're looking to sort of expand that to other websites as well.
Yeah. I'm thinking, do we build them all ourselves or do we partner up with someone else?
Either way, I think either way would be a good way forward. It's something that we could definitely explore.
Yeah.
We got that going. So on the Discord side, we had so many people. So we've been using this bot called Collabs for verifying Metakeys, and there have been some bugs, some glitches with it. Basically, it's not something that we have made and we've been able to control, and we've had to do like a lot of troubleshooting and helping people kind of sort that out. So we just said to Vic, like, hey Vic, we need you to make a bot. We need you to make like a Metakey specific one that can handle all this for us. We've got that. Okay, we're going to be transitioning over to it. At the moment, you probably noticed in the Discord, there's like a lot of multiple roles. But I think in the next sort of week or two, we're going to be transitioning over to this new bot. You will have to re-verify if you haven't already. But once it's done, like it should basically just be done. If there's any problems with it, then we just go, call Vic and he'll sort it out immediately.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
So again, Collab Land is what we're currently using, which we have no control over. So when people have issues, there's not much we can do. The funny thing is that I actually had a podcast, or not a panel, and the guy from Collab Land was on it.
Oh yeah.
And he was the host of it.
Yeah.
So halfway through, I found out that he was the founder of Collab Land. I was like, dude, we use your thing. It's pretty cool.
It is.
But
definitely.
They're working on some cool things. So they'll probably be working on the fact that you can probably bring your cryptocurrencies to be able to be used in there, but integrating blockchain into Discord. So they'll inspire at the very least a lot of bridging.
We have also transitioned our blogs over to Medium, which you guys can see here. I think it's really going to help with like discoverability. It's a lot easier to sort of SEO for Medium. So moving forward, there you guys go, medium.com/@Metakey, and you can follow us there if you use the platform. We've got a blog post up now kind of explaining exactly how the airdrops work. Basically what we've been doing is out of every single one of these captain's logs, I've been cutting them up into a couple of segments where we've been talking about something like really sort of specific and interesting and important that we want to reach everyone without everyone necessarily having to sit through like the whole kind of hour and a half. I think the last one was. So I'm doing that, and then also doing these blog posts as well, just to kind of have it like cemented. So yeah, we're over on Medium there. So you guys should definitely keep an eye on that. NFT Radar. We've done a bunch of new Radar posts as well. That's been going really strong. They've been doing a great job over there, haven't they?
They have. So Ego, our are we?
Yeah.
I can't see the recording screen.
No, we're still good.
We're still good.
You're over there.
I'm over there. I just didn't know if I was still in the screen.
No, you're still good.
So Ego, one of our members, who is also our integrations manager. So Ego is now not just doing the NFT radars, but he's talking to all of our partners. He's been awesome. He does a breakdown of NFT projects, I think twice a week.
Yeah.
And he brings them into one of the channels called NFT Radar, and it's been awesome. Like I read them, I learn from them. Again, open to your feedback, guys. If you find something is missing, too much information, too little information, not certain points you'd want to expand on, let us know. But as you can see, he's done, is it Guild of Guardians?
Yeah, Guild of Guardians he's done this week.
So Guild of Guardians is an interesting one. It's going to be probably the first mobile play, mobile play with NFTs. Yeah. And like he brings this to our attention.
Isometric RPG as well. It's very like Diablo style, very Diablo sort of Path of Exile. Should make people very nostalgic. It's definitely one to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ego is always like the first person basically to find and deliver the alpha on this stuff to us.
150k members on Discord.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, it is. So this is basically where I discover like every new project and get all the alpha is from Ego. He delivers it to us before anyone else gets it. And this is totally free. This is not restricted to Metakey holders. So guys, even if you don't hold a Metakey yet, I would definitely recommend like getting into our Discord and checking it out, because there's a lot of free value. We're basically providing like 80% free value and then 20%. You reckon that's about right? 80-20?
Yeah.
Yeah.
80, like our model is just to have free value to everyone in the NFT space, but have a kind of an extra cool thing that you can do with the Metakey, right? It's not going to be a Metakey exclusive only thing where everything's going to be locked to the Metakey.
Yeah.
I kind of hate sometimes when I'm on a website on Washington Post or one of those ones, and it gives you like the title and three sentences, and you're really into the article, and it tells you to subscribe, and you're like, I don't want to subscribe, and most of the times I click out, right?
Yeah.
I think there's a big.
If you get the full article, like if you got the full article and it was like it absolutely slapped, like it was a real cracker of an article, you're much more likely to subscribe.
Probably, but at the end of the day, I just feel like the value is having a big community rather than a small niche one. Yeah. So, that's the model we're playing with. We'll see how we go.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I think perhaps the biggest thing that you've done since last Captain's Log is you just decided one morning that you were gonna start streaming every day.
Oh, you're gonna talk about the baby?
No, that's the second biggest. No, the baby came right before the last Captain's Log. Remember?
Did it?
Yeah, and she's not that big. Honestly, she's pretty small now.
Yeah. But I have started streaming every single day, 7 p.m. EST. I felt like there needed to be an NFT show or like a conversation happening live, and so hoping to be one of those on YouTube. So doing one, I'm not sure if you guys have been catching it, but every single day, 7 p.m. EST, which is my mornings 9 a.m. Monday to Friday, Melbourne. We go through all the news in the NFT space recently. Like today, we talked about Lionel Messi, Ronaldinho, Louis Vuitton, NASCAR. Oh my God, how many others? Like 3-4 other brands coming into the NFT space. We talked about Curio cards going nuts, and some other investment places and opportunity, the NFT timeline, and all sorts of things. So every day, like there's so much news coming in. I think like I'm ready now to do a proper live NFT daily show.
So before we started, I did a mic test where I like banged on the desk a couple of times to make sure they wouldn't peak and blow people's eardrums out.
Am I doing it again?
You said you wouldn't, and I told you you would.
Am I doing it at the start or just now?
You're doing it constantly.
Am I?
You never stop. You're very expressive. You talk with your hands.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. You literally.
I'll do this. See, this is what my baby does.
It's really like.
It's like when she's crying, she's like,
learn a lot.
So I'm gonna do.
There you go.
Right, I'm gonna be punching the air.
Also, with the streams, you're doing giveaways every single day, right?
Yep, every day, guys.
So far,
we've been doing we've done giveaways, so we get. That's why you've probably been seeing a lot more people in the Discord, because every morning when I do those streams, I tell everyone to jump into the Discord and click the giveaway button, and anyone, it's free, can win whatever I'm giving away. So we've given away a Vogu, given away 2 Astro Friends, and we've given away a Curio cards, each one probably worth between $500 to some cases $1,000.
That was a really good Vogo you gave away. That was more than $1,000.
Was it?
Yeah, they really twisted your arm. Everyone was like, "Oh, that one's good," and you're like, "Oh no, that one looks pretty rare."
Taking advantage of me not knowing these projects that well.
Yeah, and you're like, "Oh, I don't know, that one looks pretty rare."
If you guys asked me this 2-3 days ago, I
one.
probably would have given a really rare one because I only just recently got in touch with.
You almost gave away one that was holding a beer.
Yeah.
And like anyone that's like holding stuff in their hands are just like ridiculous.
I've noticed because I think just this morning I got a bid on it for 5 ETH. It would have hurt me a little bit that if I gave that away.
But that's the thing. If you guys come along live, you might be able to trick Maddie into giving you some really good free stuff.
I'll promise not to do that much research.
All right.
More probability of tricking me.
Can we talk about some concept art and like the stuff that we're building?
I would love to talk about the concept art
because
it's my favorite topic.
Last time, I know, so good. Last time we were talking about the ship, right? Our flagship, the Metakey, our titular flagship. And this is what we were looking at last time on the Captain's Log. And it's so wild to me to think like how far we've come since then. I'm sure you guys have already seen on Twitter and on YouTube here, we've kind of been posting that little, reveal trailer we did. But Billy came back to us, Billy, our art director, came back to us with this and had us basically choose which one we preferred. And it was so close split between number 6 and number 7 here. Number 7 with this like key-shaped aperture, sort of rotational aperture, was kind of like the closest to what you guys were seeing previously in the previous logs. We went with number 6 and we came out with this.
That's it.
That's it. That's the Metakey. That's our ship.
That's our ship, guys.
Yeah. You guys are gonna
Sorry. Jeez, sorry. There may be some editing required.
No, I'm keeping that in. That's too good. You're gonna see this in DCL. You're gonna see this in Sandbox. You might see this in Somnium, maybe. But basically, like any of these metaverse spaces that you're going into, you're gonna see this thing in the sky. You're gonna see this thing like landed somewhere, and you're immediately gonna recognize it as the Metakey. The Metakey is here, and that's something that we want. Like everyone that's playing Sandbox, everyone that's going into DCL, we want this to be a recognizable piece of iconography for them.
We can talk a little bit about how we designed like some of the stuff inside it. Oh, here we go.
Way ahead of you. Way ahead of you. Tell us about it.
So this ship is going to probably house 3 to 4 different venues or places of entertainment, hanging out, meetups, all that sort of stuff. Very, very cool. From the middle to the back to the top, we may have a disco area or a party area at the top, where this little thing might kind of show out some lights and stuff like that, and be like this disco / party area. This thing here is a bit of it's a pod.
Yeah.
It's a mini ship that detaches and goes on to explore more things. So that's going to be added to some part of our story, and you might see maybe if you own the Metakey, you can actually fly that around in DCL, right?
Maybe.
So and then at the back, and even at the middle, we have meeting areas and conferences. So maybe in the middle we can have some conferences. Maybe at the back we can have a place where you can only go to, or maybe the front or the back, where you can only go to if you have the Metakey. Only then can you teleport there, and maybe there we can do roundtables with the community and talk about what you guys want to see in the project, what you guys like, don't like, blah blah blah. And the bottom bit, which is one of the coolest parts, is this thing kind of turns into legs when it lands.
So it perches like a dragon, basically. These big claws that kind of perch, and then it's going to have like a walkway sort of extending that you can kind of enter into the cargo bay here. Yeah. I love this. This design just like grows on me more and more every day. I miss, like at first I kind of missed having that big sort of key aperture thing because I thought it was a really compelling silhouette. But I love this so much. I love that, like, it looks like a dragon. It looks like very sort of organic. Like it looks like a creature. Yeah. It's got a lot of character. Bit of a living. It's got a lot of personality. Yeah, exactly. And of course we've got like the classic iconography of the Metakey logo here. And as I'm sure you guys have seen in the animation, So rather than having like, light speed or warp technology or whatever, we basically blast out a keyhole, like a keyhole tear in the fabric of reality out of here, and we use that to travel between metaverse spaces. So from like the real world into Sandbox, or from Sandbox into DCL, we just kind of travel between these spaces. Man, I'm so like, this is really inspiring for me.
So Billy, again, shout out to Billy who comes up with these designs and the mindset. Like he came up with, I believe, all the mechanics. You see the rotation for landing, even the idea of how it works, not just a cool design, but thinking about how it's possible. But look at that, space matter intake for engine power.
Yeah.
Even the panels that he's done, he's made it in a way where it looks like it's salvaged armor panels, right? Because we're kind of meta pirates, going around in different spaces, putting together a ship. And shout out to him. He basically came up with the whole thing.
Although we're paying him for his art, not his spelling, so just.
What is this? Yeah.
That's all right. I'm the writer. It's fine. Anyway.
Explanation.
Yeah, explanation. Oh, Billy.
Do you have a picture of it stand, like on the stand?
Not yet. No. He sketched it really quickly for me, but I couldn't find it anywhere.
Okay.
But if we find that, I'll get him to do a sketch of it so you guys can see what it looks like when it's
You guys have to see it
on Twitter.
On the ground.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it literally looks like a dragon.
Yeah, it's really cool. So speaking of meta pirates, we also...
Do we have a name for the ship?
Yeah, it's called the Metakey.
The Metakey?
The Metakey.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the key. It flies through the keyhole.
Yeah.
It's literally the key.
I see.
Yeah. So last time we were also talking about our Metakrew and our captain. This is where we were at last time.
Are we going to show the concept art of Billy's? Damn.
Yeah.
Like the
we're getting
legit
to it.
one?
Yeah,
okay.
I promise you, we're getting to it. So this is where we were at last time. Just to kind of give you guys an idea of like how far we've come. I say we, how far Billy has come.
Yeah.
In the last couple
we just
of
watch
weeks.
him.
So this was Stygian's concept, which I think is absolutely phenomenal. I love it. It's kind of really informing. Like you can see sort of how it's informed the ship design as well. It's just kind of like bleeding into the rest of the IP. And I love that we're getting that consistency.
And so the captain, boom. Well,
boom.
The captain, by the way, guys, is kind of like our leader for the lore of the story about the Metakey. And there's going to be 3 characters. She's the first. Yeah. And they're the main crew members.
Well, there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot more than 3. Yeah. Like every single one of you guys are going to be a character. You're part of this Metakrew, and we're going to like basically.
Are you looking at the camera right now?
Yeah.
Well, how come there it doesn't look like you're looking at the camera?
Doesn't it?
No, look at that camera for a second.
Looking at that camera. Are we on this camera? No, I'm on this camera. So in this scene, I'm on this camera and you're on that camera. I had to split them. Yeah. So I have to go from camera 1 to camera 2. Camera 2. We're going to have more than 3 characters. You guys are all going to be integrated into this narrative. It's just that we've got these 3 like mascot characters that are demonstrating the IP and the aesthetic, right? And the sort of like breadth and scope of it. Yeah. So here's our captain in action. She is just magnificent. And
this thing Billy whipped up in like, what, 4 hours or something?
Yeah, he did this in like 3 or 4 hours. It's just... absurd.
He was just like doing this in his spare time just to show us the character depth, and we were like, holy shit, this is what we want.
Because we had like stuff like this, and he was starting to work on the Avatar project, and then I mentioned we're doing another captain's log. He's like, oh, you're gonna have some spy shot for the captain's log. So we did this, and then he did this.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh my goodness. So you can see we're teasing our other characters back here. We got the Stray. We've got. We haven't settled on this guy. He's either the gun or the.
It's too mysterious to settle on.
I know. Like we can't. He's so mysterious. We can't even settle on his name. And then you can see some. The rest of the crew, our generative avatars.
An insight into our PFP project coming.
Yeah, and I wonder if
thinking.
I wonder if this might be teasing or implying something that's coming as well.
What is that? A pet?
What
is it? A pet?
Maybe.
Is it a random crow creature that she doesn't even know is on her shoulder?
I'm sure it doesn't really mean anything. I wouldn't read too much into that. That's just I couldn't possibly, right?
I think Billy just accidentally drew it.
He just slipped. So okay.
Sorry, Michael. Go back. We'll just talk a little bit more.
No, please.
Yeah, so he has been drawing this to inspire us to think about the characters and all of that stuff. The reason why we're doing these mascots is we can pull and connect the story of everything we do.
Yes.
From the wearables that we drop to the buildings that we build in Decentraland.
Yes.
We could have gone ahead and just said, oh, we like this style and that style, but we said no, we pulled back. We rewinded the clock a little bit. We got Michael to come up with a story and a description. We got Billy to do some drawing and brainstorming. We got us internally to agree on an art form that we like forward. And now from the wearables that we drop in DCL, we may drop a mythic set, which is only 10 of maybe her suit, right? Or her cape or her arm.
Yeah.
Anything. So this builds character, obviously, to the stuff that we do in the future. And I think there'll be a lot more connectivity apart from us just having no storyline. And this is why we kind of built the storyline.
So we're building so many things across so many different spaces that we wanted them to be like cohesive, right? And we wanted everything that we do visually to be recognizably Metakey, that people will be able to see it and they'll be able to just instantly recognize it if they're in the NFT space. And I think we're kind of like definitely getting to that point. In a way that isn't sort of ubiquitous or homogenous with a lot of these other projects as well. Like we're not doing another punk or another ape. Or, you know, like we got a little bit of that like cyberpunk thing in there, which is extremely kind of popular and getting I think a little bit homogenized. But also like it's very, very distinct and unique to the Metakey, which I love. So speaking of which, here's another one of our characters here.
This is one of the first concepts.
Yeah, this is a very early concept for the Strait. We're gonna go through a little bit, but this character basically was a cat, and we've got this process in our narrative where people can basically like mint their consciousness. They can mint their DNA and kind of transfer it on chain, right? And when they tried to do that sort of accidentally to an animal, kind of got caught up in it, he kind of got mutated a little bit.
Things didn't go as planned.
Didn't quite go as planned. So this is some very, very early sketches of him, again from Billy. And
are those new ones?
Yeah, these are new ones. This is starting to go in like the sort of Rocket Raccoon direction, which I really, really like as well. And then we've got this.
It's out of nowhere. Boom.
This is the latest. So Billy's got this idea that he's got like this poncho that was basically fashioned from his little like cat blanket, you know? And he's gonna have like stuff like this, like cat toys and kind of silly things.
Just take a look at that, by the way. So look at the cat blanket. He's got a cat blanket as a cape.
Yeah.
He's got a cat collar on his ear, a cat toy on his weapon, possibly a mouse as a pet.
Yeah.
Which we're in discussion about.
Yeah.
And then he's going to convert this sort of a sketch and idea to this style.
Yeah, yeah. So we're sort of having to submit some feedback here on like what we like about all of these different ones. Personally, I really like these big expressive eyes, but I like the sort of overall kind of aesthetic of this guy. I feel like somewhere between these. Again, this is very like Rocket Raccoon, and I love that.
The one thing I think we can't have is everyone being badass, because there's three characters, right?
Yeah.
Because if they're all badass, then
no one's badass.
Then yeah,
yeah,
we're gonna have one.
Yeah, he's gonna be a little bit silly, a little bit goofy, I think.
The one on the far left, probably.
I love this helmet. I love that so much. That's that fuels me.
What if we give him like a dog mask or a dog helmet?
A dog helmet?
I don't know. I don't even know what it looks like.
Is a dog helmet?
I don't know. We'll give him a mouse as a pet and dog claws.
What's a dog helmet?
I don't know. I was thinking about like an identity that you can take off. But you're a cat. Obviously, you're a cat. But
you're saying as a cat pretending to be a dog?
Yeah.
Okay.
Add that in the story.
Okay. All right, you're the boss, man. Like that's what you want. All right. What's
That's what we're doing.
The Outlaw as well. Okay, so the Outlaw, this is what...
This is very early Billy, isn't it?
Yeah, this is he did this in like 2 hours. And this was a while ago. This was more than 3 weeks ago now. He's been focusing on the other two characters. But this is kind of what we were looking at last time. And I just wanted to like come back to this and reiterate this and show this a little bit. My idea I think my like main note for this character was like the Mandalorian, but rather than the Mandalorian like typical visor is somehow like in the shape of a key. And he's taken that and given it a little bit more of a sort of barbarian feeling to it as well, I guess. Again, this is still like super early. I don't think we submitted much feedback on this.
Shit. I didn't see this.
I also like, so this is interesting, the armor here, because he was working on this before we got our current ship design. It's actually got a lot of the iconography of that like golden wood design that we were looking at before with the rotational aperture.
Yeah.
So I think this character is going to end up looking quite different to this, but I still want to like, you know, share the process with you guys because I think it's wicked. I think it's really fun. Ignore this, by the way, because we don't know whether this guy is a robot or a ghost or
what he is.
We don't know what he is.
What is it?
We don't know
what's in that helmet.
Yeah, we don't know what's behind there. And I love this shield. I don't know whether he's going to have a shield like this, but I think like this kind of thing has got to be somewhere, right? This is just too cool. I love this. So that's that. And now, why did I put this in here? Oh yeah, that's right. Something about, oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to show this.
Let's do it.
Okay, so Stygian did some sketches of a pet. Stygian decided that a pirate captain needs a pet, needs a parrot, needs a monkey, needs something, right? Typical fashion. And he was thinking some kind of like alien peacock parrot hybrid thing. And I think we're thinking that maybe it sort of evolves over time in some way, right? That it kind of starts like a parrot and then becomes something a little bit more nefarious at some point. So we've got some designs here, some different color renders that Stygian did. And I think we were most taken with number A. Oh yeah, number A with the kind of the color of like the head and like the bones and all that of the other two. But that's basically what we got for this character right now. And well, I'll come to that in a second. And we want this to, in the same way that the captain has become the genesis for our avatar project, we want this to become the genesis of a generative pet project at some point down the line.
At some point down the line.
Some point down.
It won't be anytime soon. I think the PFP project is still 2 to 4 weeks out, probably close to the 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And you know, the thing about the generative project is that you have a very simple concept that you tweak at a very minimal level. So if you look at the punks, they all have the same shaped head and very simple features, and that's what makes punks. Like it's great. But it'd be cool to generate multiple different variants, and that's where the structure gets complicated.
Yeah.
Where you don't only get a phoenix bird, but maybe you get a dragon, maybe you get a monkey, maybe you get all sorts of things. So this is a sort of thinking that we have to do behind everything. It's all coming. It'll be part of the story. And you know, again, you get it all if you have the one Metakey. This will be airdropped to you, or it'll be available for you to download and put into your DCL land or something. But we'll make sure there's some.
But the way we're thinking is like, even if it's something we're going to do months or even like a year down the track, we start planting the seeds now in our narrative.
Yeah.
You know, so that when we decide to like pick it up and run with it, we've kind of it already makes sense. Like it's already there. It's already in the world. It's already integrated. So I love this. Now that said, what we are doing with this is...
Bam!
Are we allowed to talk about this?
Yeah, let's do it.
What is this? What are we looking at here?
We're looking at the early designs for Ethermon collaboration.
Oh my goodness.
And Ethermon is a game similar to what you probably think it sounds like. It's a Pokemon game based on Ethereum, and you can capture creatures and evolve them, trade them, battle them.
There a little bit so you can actually see that little one.
Yeah, capture them, blah, 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 blah. And again, like we could have gone to Ethermon and given them a random creature to build into their thing. But no, we built a story. We built an idea of where this Ethermon exists in our story and how it plays out, right? These collaborations we're doing, whether it be Ethermon, etc., ideally, and if we and they have the bandwidth, they're a start of what's to come. So if we have more creatures, hopefully we can build more of a lore and connect that to another game that we may have somewhere else in the sandbox maybe. And this is basically it. So you get this mini Ethermon that over time will evolve. And I think we had the concept where either this one or maybe another Ethermon that we design will be like you own it or you'll get it airdropped to you. So you'll get airdropped this Ethermon. Everyone will get airdropped this Ethermon. And if you own it, it'll allow you to capture another one at a higher rate than the average Ethermon player.
Interesting.
Yeah. So this is where it's aesthetic, it's there, but utility is also built into these things. And we're also thinking, and this is not going to be with the Ethermon, this may be with the PFP project, where we'll be adding a governance aspect, right?
Oh.
So this is something that we haven't talked into much, but as a community on blockchain, we cannot not do governance, right? Governance is awesome. The fact that the community can vote on certain topics and tell us what they like or tell us which direction they want to go in is an awesome concept that blockchain brings to the space. So we're thinking, Gen 1 holders to have a little bit more weighted points of governance where they get maybe 1.3 and maybe Gen 2, 1.2, 1.1, 0.5 if you have any other Gen key after that. But in Discord, we're trying to find out a way where if we come up with certain topics we want you guys to vote on, you can vote by pressing thumbs up and thumbs down, and it'll skew that based on the gen you hold, and it'll allow us to govern, or the community to govern exactly what happens. So it's something simple like, okay, well, who do you want to win in the Shark Tank pitch, right? Maybe the community can vote on a certain person winning, and that funding can come out of the Metakey. Maybe we'll have like 1% of our sales go to a fund that goes to initiatives like this. And then maybe the PFP project, maybe that as well can give you some voting power, because that's your identity, right? Again, it's not just dropping a PFP project. It's like, well, how does this play into the overall vision, utility-wise? So those are some ideas that we're playing with, and we're so new to the space that we can't just plug and play these concepts. We have to build these concepts from scratch. So Vic, our dev, has to look into how to incorporate this governance process into Discord and, figure it all out. So the idea is there, the vision is there, but to get the process out, it may take some time.
I just had to flip myself there because I noticed I was like looking over here when I was looking at you. We were flipped in different directions. So Poppy designed this.
Yep.
And wow.
Poppy is awesome. Yeah. She designed our website.
Yeah.
She's our brand designer and our logo.
Yeah.
And a lot of other stuff that we see.
We got so many talented people on the team. It's ridiculous. So here's a little preliminary 3D render of what this. You can see the first evolution stage might look in DCL on their land. And we decided that not like close, but not quite. And Billy's come up with. He gave us this one.
Porcupine a little bit.
Yeah. So I think we decided we want the eyes are like way back here, right? It's like a bird, right? A bird doesn't have its eyes on its beak. So this is what we've got at the moment. This is not textured though, right?
That's not bad.
Yeah, this is not textured. This is just the model. It doesn't have any textures on it. So
is that what Billy did recently?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
He just did that in like 2 hours.
Billy doing Billy things.
Yeah.
It's got a banana in the
just
front
doing
too.
Billy stuff. Well, yeah, I told him, I was like, how big is this thing? I need a banana for scale.
Billy things.
So he gave us a banana for scale. So that's good.
So it's like what? Like that big? Big as my head.
Yeah. So this is going to be wandering around. Obviously, when it's textured, this is not like a finished model. But it's going to be textured and animated. It's going to be walking around in the Ethermon land in DCL. And So
what is this pet on our captain do at the moment? Just sit there and be cute, or does it have a purpose?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out at the moment. So like in the narrative,
because it looks pretty useless.
Yeah, in the narrative. So you know how like before the Soviets sent people to space, they were sending dogs to space, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking in the same way, like before they've kind of minted people, like people's DNA and people's consciousness as NFTs, they've experimented doing that with different animals. Right? But it's in the same way that like the first people that they were minting got kind of messed up.
Yeah.
So did the animals. They kind of mutated, they got messed up.
Right.
So this is one of them, and when the captain escaped, basically she busted this bird out.
Okay, got it.
And now it's her best friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it talk to it?
I don't know. Does it?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Do you want us to vote on it?
Do you want it to talk?
Yeah.
I mean, the stray talks. We got a bloody zoo on this ship.
Half human, half animal zoo.
Yeah. So this little guy is going to have a lot of character as well. So that's
so cool.
That's coming down. So okay, let's talk about land. Last time we were looking at our DCL land, and this was basically a mood piece for how we could sort of build this up.
Yeah.
This again, you see this ship design on our roadmap as well. This was like a super early concept. This is going to be like an Easter egg in future. I think is putting this like super early concept of our ship design in somewhere. It's almost like on the Gen 1 card, you've got your old logo on it, right?
Oh, we can talk about that as well, actually.
Yeah?
Gen 1.
You want to talk about Gen 1? Is there something about Gen 1?
Yeah, can you pull it up real quick? So if you see the Gen 1 key, guys, and whatever we do as a company, it's always to bring value to our early adopters and also the rest of the Metakey fam, right? Now, Gen 1, you might have to open it up on OpenSea. Yep. Gen 1 is, to me, it's very special because Gen 1 was our first attempt and our first launch to the world to see what this project is about. Some people believed, some people didn't. This thing sold in 20 minutes, so, I mean, it was pretty hyped. But when that key flips, you can kind of see it says DCL Blogger at the end, behind it, right? May not mean that much at the start, but you've noticed I recently rebranded. I'm not sure if you want to pull up my Twitter real quick.
Yes. It's you did. You've got a new logo, which again Poppy designed, didn't you? Oh.
So we got a new logo.
Wow.
Which is fresh. Poppy designed it.
It's very fresh.
And the old logo is now forever imprinted on that first key. So it's a little bit of a iconic thing.
I think I might be able to pause it. There it is.
Yeah, there you go. DCL Blogger.
Yeah.
And like many years into the future, like if you look back, you'll see this logo, and I think it adds a little bit. I thought it may add a bit of history. Yeah. To not only the Metakey brand, but my connection to the brand. Yeah. Forever.
Yeah. So it's almost like people that collect like 1950s like vintage Coke memorabilia. You know what I mean? I think it might. I mean, that's obviously a pretty extreme case, but maybe Yeah. I think it's definitely got a similar sort of appeal to it.
But this was the last thing that I had Alan tweak with. So he had finished the whole concept, and I was like, he actually finished the concept. And midway through the concept, he had my logo at the back, I think, of this key, and I told him to take it out. But then I was like, wait a second, that's actually a great idea. So I told him to put it back in, I believe. Yeah. And there we go.
Oh, there you go. That's
Let's see how that plays out. But again, right, it's trying to find ways to add little Easter eggs that maybe bring value to things moving forward. And
I think this might end up being one of them, because this is on our roadmap as well. It's landed on our roadmap. So last time we were looking at DCL land, right, and just kind of getting like a mood piece of how it might look. I think we had the idea that maybe this was like an abandoned sort of industrial site that we've just kind of like moved in and requisitioned. But we're starting to look really seriously at our sandbox line now as well. Again, this was, the breakdown of all the DCL stuff from Billy here.
This is, again, a very quick sketch.
Yeah.
And without our feedback. So the final version is going to look way, way different.
Yeah. Again, just sharing the process with you guys. Here's a mood piece for the sandbox. And the idea here is that the sandbox is like another world, and maybe around that other world there's either a moon or some asteroids or something where there's like a little biodome and this ancient kind of ruined, we don't know what it is, temple base, something that we've kind of discovered, and it's like a haven for the Metakrew. This is where we hide away, right?
Got it.
And it's overgrown, and we're just slowly starting to tame it and sort of make it our own, right? And there's a little bit of commerce. There's some crew members here with box heads because it's sandbox. And Billy's also being
keep thinking about Vogus.
Oh yeah.
When I look at that.
You know what? Vogus like translate really well into sandbox with their design philosophy.
They had a sandbox so good, didn't they?
Yeah, they got some. Was it Voxodeus? They did a wearable for a helmet for a voter.
We're in touch with Voxodeus as well.
Yes,
by the way.
always.
Yeah. It's cool because we're all finding these projects that are here to stay, and at least giving it a really good shot at building a great project.
Yeah. So in this mood piece here, you can see like the shapes of the structures that Billy's trying to use are ones that would translate like quite well. There's obviously like a lot of kind of structures that you cannot really do in voxel art without it looking like complete garbage. But you know, we're sort of being cognizant of that, and we're talking to a very I don't know if we can say who it is. I don't know if we're quite ready to say who it is, but we're talking to a level designer and artist who's done some really, really awesome stuff in Sandbox with a lot of these game jams and stuff. They're working on firstly porting the ship. So the cool thing about the ship, right, is that like, yeah, it's got the same design, the same iconography or whatever, but once it flies into the sandbox, it's going to be voxelated. You're still going to recognize it as the Metakey, right? It's still the same design, but we need to translate that design into these different styles, right? So we're doing that, and we're having this, again, this is going to be somewhere like in the middle. We've got a massive amount of land in Sandbox. And somewhere in the middle of it is going to be our sort of, you know, our base, our kind of like community hub. Yeah. Right.
We got to like pull out our Sandbox land and kind of
and plan
map out what goes where.
Definitely.
I'm thinking we have it where our partners are all on the edges. Or should we put them in the middle? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe we can have pockets of different areas and zones. So one's like the art zone.
Yeah.
But we have a shit ton of land.
Yeah. We got a lot of designers, a lot of like game designers as well in the Metakey community that are interested in like building experiences. And we're always like really open to just saying like, here's like experiment with some land. Try and
we need to figure out how to do that.
Right? Yeah. We need to work out like a process for it. Yeah. But what you say 257? How many?
576.
576. Oh, yeah, geez, that's
And we will get more if we need.
If needed, he says.
We have it, guys.
If needed.
And each land is massive as well. Yeah. The only annoying thing about the Sandbox is I think you can only bring in 32 to 64 people. I think
per instance at the moment. Yes.
Per instance, I would love for it to be hundreds.
Yeah.
Because that would just open up so much. Awesomeness.
I think what they're like really looking at doing, what they're hoping to do, first of all, is like expanding that limit, but also having lands that can be kind of like parceled together and integrated into like one kind of massive land, rather than having just having them like instanced and separated. Because each of them is still like pretty big, but you can't at the moment have like one sort of Skyrim sized experience on one land. It has to be split between like a whole bunch of different things with their own sort of like unique sort of rules and mechanics. Whatever Sandbox does, like we're in for it. So again, just like an early mood piece there, we're gonna have a lot more stuff to share on this soon. So here's our captain again. This was our first sort of test at what an avatar project might look like. Again, we want to use her aesthetic as our IP to inform what these avatars are going to look like moving forward. And this was
very first step.
Yeah, this is the very, very, very first sketch that Billy smashed out for what that might look like.
What feedback did we give him?
I think basically we said, we really like this. Let's see how it looks with some variations. Let's see what happens when you start to switch out some of these things. Yeah. That's kind of what we got. What we got here is, okay, what does it look like? She's got different eyes. She's got an eye patch. She's got, shorter hair. If she's got like different kinds of makeup. And again, each one of these is like, this is a separate layer. So each one of these is the same base image, basically, as this that's been cleaned up. And then the hair's on a separate layer. The eyes are on a separate layer. Any accessories are on a separate layer. It's about building those kind of layers up and having them in such a way that it works, like they all work together, all mesh together.
But you know what's interesting? So if you look at the left one, you'll see her eyes are gold. She's got a little bit of a gold aura. Yeah. I think her lips are normal. On the right one, she's got black eyeshadow. black lipstick. She's got a black aura. So we're thinking of the concept of having like a dark style rarity and a light one.
Yeah.
And play around with auras and all these sort of things.
Yeah, we were also playing around with maybe these auras corresponding to Metakey editions, right? So that everyone, like including Gen 4, is going to get a free avatar. But if you're, say, a Gen 1, maybe you'll get this cool gold aura. Like whatever you generate, it'll also have this cool gold aura. Maybe if you're a Keymaster, it'll have this kind of black aura. We're sort of experimenting with
experiment with that. So I'm thinking maybe we shouldn't do it in a way where it's too much part of the art.
Yeah.
So like if you have Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, maybe it's just like a little tattoo.
Very subtle. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very subtle thing.
Yeah.
That way it's there, but it doesn't dominate the thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Because then you have like 500 pieces which are completely the same and dominated by an aura.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, this was still very like early experiment, but and also experimenting with like the style, which we've been sort of massaging and adjusting as we go. But like super compelling. Like she's such a cool design. Honestly, I can't get over it. I seriously stand for our captain.
We actually thought that it would look too Avatar Korra. From sorry. From Avatar.
Yeah,
from
the Legend
Avatar.
of Korra.
Legend of Korra.
Right? Yeah.
Especially with...
She was one of the inspirations.
She was definitely one of the inspirations, but I think Billy took it, especially with the concept, with the splash art. Is it called splash art? Made it look way more powerful and way more warrior-esque.
Yeah.
Different, which...
She was basically a genetically engineered blockchain saboteur. Before she became a pirate, she was working for the centralized corporate baddies.
Right.
Before she cut and ran.
Was she the captain of the centralized corporate baddies?
No, she wasn't. She was more a pawn.
But a strong one.
Strong one, very strong one. Yeah, she was kind of a secret weapon. So she's awesome. Then Billy just started going and smashing out. I wanted to show this because it really, I think, like gives an insight into how these avatar projects work, how they're actually broken down. So you can kind of see here, right? Like you make this eye patch on a separate layer, and it needs to fit on every single head that you make.
Male or female.
Yeah, male or female. So you have to design these heads in a way that they can have, like, over here, there can be like some different shapes and different colors, but like this line needs to be the same. This line needs to be the same because this needs to line up in every single one of them. Same with the hair, the beards, everything. So he smashed out some of them for male and female parts. Again, just as like an early sort of test, because this is one of the reasons why I really want to have a course on this in the Met Academy, because basically Vic and Billy are both having to work out how this works, like as they go. They're having to basically design it from the ground up. There's very little information about actually how to do this kind of out there. Everyone's kind of hold those cards very close to their chest. And then we kind of tested randomly generating a bunch of these from some of these components, right? So again, this is just like a couple of these components.
Can we realize that?
Yeah. So this is just a couple of these variations, and then just randomly generating them to see that algorithm works, right? To see that there's no clipping, to see that this eye patch fits on this head and this head and this head equally, right?
I actually thought they wouldn't look too different because I only saw like two of them, but they look pretty different.
They look pretty different, and this is still only with just a couple of these components designed, right? And the style hadn't been finished yet. The style was still like very kind of like quick and slapdash. He just wanted to demonstrate how the process was working, sort of experiment.
Look at the guy at the top left.
This guy?
What happened? What went wrong with him? He's like a half alien.
Ignore him. He doesn't fit into the narrative yet.
Okay.
This is where we're at right now. So one bit of feedback we gave was, okay, these guys, they all look kind of soulless, and dead-eyed and like very realistic. And in that sort of like concept art kind of painterly style. But I think our main feedback was we wanted them to be a little bit higher contrast, a little bit harder lines, and a little bit more animated and expressive, So And also I think you were suggesting like maybe experiment with like a different view rather than like the typical kind of side-on PFP view, maybe having like a front-on.
Possible front-on.
Yeah. We've experimented with that. He came back with these different sort of style testers for us. This was more like what it was before, but with a more animated, like a less realistic kind of hairstyle. And I think that we're sold on like this one and this one, right? And that's basically what we're looking at moving forward. And also moving a little bit away from all these cyberpunk components because that is like very homogenized at the moment. And something that's like a little bit sort of between that and the piratey. What's this? What could that be? What could that be, Maddie? I don't know. What does that say? Asan?
Yeah.
Who's Asan?
I don't know.
Huh. And then this was another sort of style test.
That is cool, man.
Today. Yeah.
I'm a fan of that style.
So that's one pedal back towards the painterly style, like from this one. But
I would love
like larger eyes, like larger sort of features to be more expressive.
Hell yeah.
And I just love this hairstyle.
I love the hairstyle too.
Yeah.
I would love, by the way, guys, for you to give your advice and your opinions on what you think. There's only 5 of us, and we all have a little bit of a different taste. Yeah. I personally have the taste of a mix of animated and realism. Not too realism, to be honest. I kind of like fantasy stuff, but not too anime. Just kind of, I don't know. There's a sweet spot.
We've been looking at like Overwatch and Valorant and League of Legends, like a lot of their rendering styles.
That is so fucking cool.
Yeah, it is really cool, isn't it? Because eventually these are all going to be 3D as well. These are all going to be like 3D avatars that you can like play as in different spaces. This is just step one. So we want a style that can kind of like translate to that as well. But I love this hairstyle. I love like the big sort of, it's almost like Disney features in a way, you know, like Pixar features. But
you know what? Comparing this to the Captain that we had very, very early on, that one, the one after that, that's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Would you call that realistic?
Yeah, that's very realistic. Like in the lighting, again, you can sort of see the sort of transitions from dark to light. Like Billy explains this much better than I do. But on like surfaces, right? The way that light works, the way that you get these sort of like soft transitions from like dark to light. Whereas in the more like cartoony style, it's a lot harder. There's kind of like harder blocks, you know, between dark and light. Yeah, I think that's an interesting study as well. I think my favorite is still this one.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I would love to see other randomly generated options, so like 5 or 10 of them.
Well, that's what's going to be coming in the next couple of days. Is basically Billy's like basically taking a lot of this stuff and translating it more into this style, and then we'll do a similar experiment where we generate a bunch of them and see what they look like. Yeah.
But even these, like, I didn't see all these variations.
Yeah.
I thought that the variations would look too similar with the realistic style, but I feel like this is pretty different.
Yeah. This is still,
and also what you guys may notice is that we're trying to build different ethnicities or
different ethnicities and also like different factions, right? We want to represent everyone that is in like the crypto sort of blockchain space, right? And some of those people will resonate more with like the cyberpunk stuff, others with, you know, different styles. So we're thinking of it like what factions exist in this space that could join the Metakrew, and what do they look like and what components sort of represent them. We want to like represent as many people as we can. Okay, so that's basically where we're at with the Avatar project, and that's it's honestly not that far out. Like I dare not speculate about a date because then Billy will get my DMs being like.
The thing about it is the thing about it is we have to agree with the style.
Yes.
Before Billy goes ahead and builds and draws out like 1,000 variations. So it's kind of like agreeing on a style and slowly letting him go and seeing 5 different variations of that same style and then saying yep, go for it, and then him going boom. But as soon as we are ready for the phase 2 0 to 100 Billy, like he will do his thing.
Yeah. And we're so nearly there. Honestly, we are so nearly there.
But I think we should just appreciate how versatile Billy is.
He's incredible. Like the fact that he's done this as well as the 3D modeling for the ship that we were showing last time, as well as all of that like environmental concepts art,
and the splash art,
man.
and yeah, he's epic.
Yeah, but we're not giving you his contact details because we don't want you to poach.
You're not even going to see his face. He's a hidden.
He's ours.
Yeah.
He's ours. Damn it. We need him. Oh my goodness. So that's it for art. Finally, I want to talk about what is coming, and we've already mentioned some of that. We've got Shark Tank Session 1 coming.
Yep.
We've got Meta Academy almost ready to launch within the next couple of weeks. Shark Tank Session 1, the idea, I wanted to do it today or early next week. We're probably going to have to push it back until after lockdown. We get our lockdown at the end of next week. So we might do it on Friday, or we might do it the following Monday.
Okay.
We'll kind of see. But it's basically ready to pull the trigger on. Metakey jobs.
Okay.
We were mentioning this last Captain's Log, right? We were looking at some feedback, some ideas, and I think it was Blockjack. I'm like 90% sure it was Blockjack that said, hey, let's have like a job board, like a system where Metakey members can hire other Metakey members to do, you know, big jobs, small jobs, whatever, but just have like a process. Like we got so many skilled people in the community with so much like diversity of talent. How can we sort of support each other in some sort of economy?
Yeah.
And he's working on a proposal which looks really, really good.
Nice.
And basically, I think he's on holiday at the moment. Blockjack, I really hope you're enjoying your break.
Yeah.
I hope you're having fun. But when he gets back, he's going to have a proposal for us.
There you go.
Yeah. So that sounds really compelling to me. Sandbox build promo. So you guys saw our launch promo for the ship. We're working on a similar like animated short promo for our Sandbox presence, and it's so cool. It's really awesome. I can't wait for you to see. I don't want to spoil too much, but how I mentioned like the ship looks like one style in one space and another style in another space. What happens in that transition? You know, what happens when you go through the keyhole and suddenly you come out and you're like a different style? That's what we're exploring with this promo, and I think that's going to be really, really fun. We're talking to Decentral Games about running some events. Yeah.
Decentral Games is the casino in DCL. They've got like poker and blackjack and all that sort of stuff. So we're not going to do anything with gambling, but we'll do stuff with just for fun. You know, you can win points. Maybe win some. Whoever wins the poker tournament might win. We gave away a Nintendo Switch before. Maybe they can win an NFT or the next Metakey for free, or we'll find out some prizes. Yeah,
definitely. I mentioned at the top of the show we're doing stuff with NFT Dungeon and looking at building a space in DCL where people can have monthly like community game nights and stuff, which I think is going to be really compelling. Physician NFT has also dropped into my DMs, and he's basically a professional like representative of basically for diversity representation of like differently able people and stuff like that. And we're going to talk to him about sort of representation in the space and how we can sort of better champion diversity and representation, which I think is going to be really, really cool as well. Like I'm talking about it constantly. Like I'm absolutely like 100% convinced that the greatest barrier to mass adoption is representation.
Okay.
And I think that whatever we can do to sort of like facilitate that is going to be really awesome. ZenFT, the guys that make the little bonsais, are looking at doing a wearable drop for us.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah. Which I think is going to be really cool as well. I think
do we have the design there?
No, I don't think we have.
Can it be a bonsai tree on the head, like a bonsai tree hat? Come on, that'll look sick.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
I think we were talking about like a kimono that had either like the Metakey or like a bonsai design on the back of it.
Yeah, that's cool.
But having a bonsai
tree on the head.
On the head, that's quite good. That is quite good. We're also obviously we're constantly like having partnership talks. We're going like really, really ham. We've got a few more people on board, like Ego, yeah, is doing so much.
And
work.
Peanut Butter.
And Peanut Butter, yeah.
And Kevin,
like everyone, honestly.
Yeah, all like Peanut Butter and Kevin were helping with events, and now we're like, guys, we need help with partnerships.
Yeah.
So there's so many people that want to be involved, and we want to be involved with them.
Yeah.
And the reality is that it takes time to build out these partnerships, time, conversations, and bandwidth. So increasing that.
So we're talking to Deadhead, we're talking to Influence, we're talking to Big Fan, which you were talking about this morning. They're building like a soccer game and some stadiums and stuff like that, which is really cool. BYOP are planning on doing eventually some like consumable like potions and stuff for games, and we're talking to them about that. I'm planning on reaching out to Animeta because I love Animetas. They're great. Talks with Genies.
Possibly.
We'll see.
Yeah, well, that's just a big question mark because Coca-Cola, as you guys know, did a wearables drop, I think, in Decentraland. They also did an auction of Coca-Cola, like as in the actual Coca-Cola, did a NFT, their first ever NFT drop on OpenSea. And I had the privilege to speak to their team and their vision and all that sort of stuff with DCL. I think a week ago, we did a live stream in the Decentraland Discord. I've done a lot of work with Decentraland before, so they had me kind of moderate that panel. And they were doing stuff with NFTs. So, you know, it opens the door for me to knock on their door and say, hey guys, do you want to do something with the Metakey?
Nice.
So who knows if that will happen? That's really just a big question mark.
Awesome. Okay, let's talk about some Discord highlights and some Discord feedback because people have been wanting us to talk about that a little bit more as well. So first of all, people have been asking about Discord analytics, and obviously we can track our analytics. I want to find some bot that can do that live for us in the Discord, or maybe even something that we can plug into the stats page, right? Because I think that's gonna be really important. But here's some key stats just from this last week. You can see like we're absolutely killing it on Discord. It's huge. We're up 20% on visitors, 30% on communicators.
Is that 7 days?
40%. Yeah, this is in 7 days. 40% total messages sent. Voice minutes isn't something we really like do much. I think that's mostly like Anubis and his stuff. Right. But we've got like 1,500 new members or something in the last like 2 weeks. Like,
crazy.
It's madness.
And it's only going to increase rapidly now because every time I'm doing a stream, I'm running the giveaways in the Discord. We're going to grow the project.
50 new people every day from that. Yeah.
I think we're at 3,900 members now.
Yeah, we're about to hit 4K if we haven't already, like during this conversation, honestly. But yeah, the Discord's absolutely popping off. It's scaling really, really quickly, and we're definitely having to like adjust some stuff with the channels and like announcement pings and stuff like that. We've already like we've got a channel now where you can basically self-allocate roles. Like if you're interested in Anubis's Do Art residency stuff, you can go in there and you can click the thing, and you will get announcements on that. And if you don't want it, then you won't be getting bothered with that. Same with like, you know, Kevin and Peanut Butter streams and all that. So if you're interested in that content, like go and have a look at that and give yourself those roles. Oh no, I'll come to that in a second. What else? Yes, we've got Maddie's NFT tips and stream giveaways in Discord now. So tell us about that.
I continuously look at the Discord and I'm continuously like, all right, well, what can we add to this Discord that I had when I first started, right? One of them is tips. Now, people like my threads, so I assume people like to hear what I have to say. So I'm thinking, well, why not kind of use this as a sort of a newsletter model? So people that have had online businesses, usually they have one of those, you know, subscribe to my newsletter, right? Subscribe to my newsletter, and every now and then they give you a snippet of advice as to whatever their expertise is. So in this case, we've added a channel called Maddie's Tips, and I'm hoping twice a week we add a snippet of information on NFTs for that week. It may be on supply and demand, it may be on how to invest in early 2017 projects and all that sort of stuff, but hopefully that is one of the many things that we'll start doing. We also started the stream giveaways, so 7 p.m. EST every single day, Monday to Friday. I do NFT live streams on YouTube. And we do a stream giveaway, so that's another Discord channel that we've added. I'm also thinking of adding, it'll probably be added and live by the time this comes out, but a NFT news channel, and give maybe 1 or 2 members that are very trusted the ability to post in there where they post news links of new announcements. So maybe Messi getting into NFTs, or Ronaldo getting into NFTs, or whatever it may be, some big brand getting into NFTs, and giving us that like just snippet of information, curated feed of just NFT news.
Yeah.
And I think a collaboration is always better than someone like me who has my limited access to news, and maybe we'll find some people that have access to Wax and Flow blockchain and all that sort of stuff. So
yeah,
that'll be another thing. And again, it's one of those things where we just try and find the hole and add more efficient ways of bringing curated NFT information to us.
Yeah, I think like that's basically our Discord in a nutshell, right? Is that it's us always trying to just like adjust a little bit here and there, just kind of like light touch, but trying to make sure that it's providing as much value to everyone as possible over time. So I noticed the NFT strategy channel is just absolutely blowing up. It's madness. So for the Vogu drop,
I can't even keep up.
For the Vogu drop, I was in there and Vic was in there. They were having a problem with their website, and Vic was just like, all right, everyone, here's how you mint from the contract.
Really?
And just did a live tutorial for everyone that was in the Discord on how to mint from the contract, and taught like 50 people how to do it.
It's epic.
Just one night, and it was awesome. And like people in that channel, people have been doing that kind of stuff like a lot now.
Nice.
And it's really, really cool. So if you guys are like new to the Discord, I know it's like overwhelming, there's a lot of stuff in there, but that channel is definitely one that you want to basically have like notifications on everything for. It's popping off. It's really good. So yeah, now we've got a lot of new people coming on. I need to adjust like the onboarding as well. There are people that like, we've got our verified channel, right? You click the green tick and like you read the rules and all that. People are not reading it.
No.
I'm constantly getting people saying, how do I verify? How do I do this? So I need to like streamline that a little bit. And I'm planning on doing that very, very soon. But basically, again, we just want to like massage everything, just make sure that everyone's like Discord UX is like as kind of clean and pleasant as possible. So if you got any more feedback for that, guys, like please, my DMs are always open. Yeah, in the Builders channel, I want to see more people using the Builders channel. I know there are so many people that are making cool stuff in the community. Ten Tango is one of them doing really cool stuff in Sandbox. They posted in there another little video of this like pyramid gallery, like this punks gallery that they've made.
Right.
If any of you guys are making stuff in DCL or Sandbox, like show us in that channel, please.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Do you want to talk about this at all?
What's that?
That might be a whole huge conversation.
Gamification of like the Metakey project. A little bit, but it's not really too much of a formalized idea. But if you're talking about
no, I'm good.
The fact that you can maybe, earn points, is that what you're referring to?
Yes, yeah. You kind of mentioned in Discord a couple of times over the last week that you're entertaining the idea of some sort of gamification process.
Yeah.
For the Metakey.
Maybe. Like, what I try not to do is put an idea out there that is obviously months away.
Yeah.
Right? It's so long away. But possibly have a concept where you can go and do events and games and stuff like that, and maybe earn points that are maybe redeemable to certain things, or maybe they give you more voting power, maybe they give you access to increase the ad banner size or timing for you. But gamification is cool because the concept of, the way Axie Infinity has gotten really big is that you can kind of farm their token while you play the game. As you're playing the game, they reward you with their token, which obviously has value because that's what the investors invest in. And so now the token is not in the works at the moment, but maybe the concept of being rewarded somehow when going to our events and stuff.
Yeah, I just put this in notes because I want people to know that like we're thinking about this kind of stuff, and that when people are bringing it up in the Discord, they obviously have like something in mind of like best practices out there, and they're seeing like other projects are doing cool stuff, and they're thinking like, wow, it'd be really cool if Metakey did something like that. And we're always seeing that, we're always talking about it, we're always thinking about that. And if you guys have any suggestions about how you would like some sort of gamification process to work with the Metakey, then please like let us know. We'll definitely discuss. We're always open to it. Okay, so we just have a couple of questions here. You ready, Matty? Some tough questions for you, mate.
Hit me.
First of all, is there a way to know if the Metakey is a scam or not? It claims to do a lot of things. But none of the Metakeys have given any benefits yet.
Damn.
Or have they?
That's tough, man. That's tough.
Is the Metakey a scam, Matty?
I think it may be, man.
Jeez.
I think it may be. No, guys, the Metakey is not a scam. But yeah, hundreds of benefits or hundreds of utility use cases was the promise of the Metakey. And they definitely take time. You know, when we launched, we had the idea of, in the launch, your Metakey transforming into something. It can transform into a shark at the moment. We had the idea of your Metakey being able to put an ad banner up on Cryptoatpulse. It took us 3 months, but it can be done now. We have decentral games. We have like probably 20, 30 partnerships still there that we have to work through and have them on board. So I think the first 3 months of the Metakey was probably the toughest, where we raised a good amount of money, pretty moderate compared to what normal avatar projects raise, but we raised enough money to kind of get a team together, get Michael here, Poppy, right, and all these people. But this wasn't the case 3 months ago or 4 months ago. It was literally just me and H&M. We launched, and we're like, holy shit, we need an office. We need to set up an office. We need to do all this sort of stuff. So I think now, as we're finding our groove, we should start to smash out those partners and really have 100+ use cases. But I think it'll definitely take some time. That is the end goal. And we don't want to move too far ahead and build those use cases, because they're really just one Metakey having 100 use cases isn't enough. They've got to have use cases that are compelling and desired by the community. So we kind of thought about it a bit more, and we put some feelers out there, and we're trying to build things that people like and love. So people obviously love airdrops, right? They love getting airdropped items from new projects. So we're trying to work on those sort of things. What sort of integrations do people like? Hopefully they like the Ethermon one or different game ones. And if they like that, then we can definitely just focus on game integrations. There's literally 500+ integrations we can chase if we want to. Anything crypto, everything blockchain related, we can tap into. Now, which ones do we tap into is one of those slowly finding our feet, phase 1. Phase 2 is just expanding into the ones that seem to do the most. So it's a 80-20 rule. So no, Metakey is not a scam.
Here's another one, and I put this question in because it's something that was answered in the old website, but not in the new one, interestingly. So the Metakey, what is it? Is it an ERC20? Is it a 721? What kind of token is it?
So an ERC token, this is a really good question, and it's really important to know.
Yes.
The Metakey is an ERC 1155. And ERC 721. Now there's 2 different token standards. I believe there's 3 popular token standards on Ethereum. ERC 720, ERC 721, ERC 1155. Now this probably may not mean anything to you, but ERC 20 is basically the cryptocurrencies launched on Ethereum. So from Sand token to Mana token to Whale token to I think there's like 30, 50, 100 more. They are ERC 20s. Those are fungible tokens.
They're fungible. They're 100% fungible.
Fungible tokens. They're currencies. If Michael gives me 50 Mana tokens, I can give him another 50, and we will not have a debate as to those being of different value. ERC 721s is where the NFT has different ID. Every single one of them has its own unique ID. So avatar projects, those are all ERC 721s, right? They all have their own unique IDs. Now, ERC 1155s, on a contract level, I believe this is the case. I'm not a dev. That within that contract, you can mint ERC 1155s and ERC 20s. Now, if you're doing ERC 21s, within that contract, you can only do ERC 721s. So Astro Friends is actually an ERC 1155. But they're all different ERC 1155. And the reason why they did that is that they can mint different token within that contract. I think that's the case. I'll have to double check that.
I believe that the thing with the 1155s is that other ERCs can belong to that.
I think so. I'm not sure. So, but generally speaking, ERC 1155s, they're kind of a mix of fungible and non-fungible tokens, right? They're generally described as semi-fungible tokens, and I think that's a more accurate term, SFTs, or even just smart collectibles, digital collectibles, right? You don't have to get technical. So what are ERC 1155s? So Rarible, a lot of the stuff on Rarible that you see is ERC 1155s. Curio cards, all ERC 1155s. When Twitter released their NFTs, which they call NFTs. Those were all ERC 1155s. Mark Cuban, he released ERC 1155s. Got the meme project, Don't Buy Meme, ERC 1155s. There's so many, if you think about it. What else can there be? Engine, all the tokens on Engine, they're all ERC 1155. In fact, I think it was Engine that came up with that standard. So basically, if you think about it, going into Engine and you see like a red sword, there's 100 of those red swords, right? They're all ERC 1155. They don't each need a unique token ID, because it's not like you have number 1 of the 100, number 2 of the 100. If you just give me one of those swords, I give you another one. We're of equal trade. So that's why the Metakey is an ERC 1155. And it's okay to call it an NFT, but I think the more accurate term would be an SFT. But many people use those standards, and I think for us it works pretty well because it does the job, and it's cheaper to mint and transact, I believe.
Yes, I believe so, yeah. So I was answering someone's question in Discord where I was basically describing it as like fungible within each edition. Like an edition 1 Metakey and another edition 1 Metakey, they are the same. They are fungible within each other, right?
Wait. Oh, yep. The same edition.
Yeah, within the same edition. Yep. Yeah, exactly. So, like from between edition 1 and edition 3, that's non-fungible, obviously. But within each edition, you can think of them as being the same.
Yeah, exactly. So they're non-fungible among other editions?
Yes.
They're fungible within themselves?
Yes.
So it's kind of like, it's weird. That's why it's an SFT.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Dank asks, have any of the airdrops been worth anything on secondary? I haven't been paying much attention to the secondary market.
I don't know. I would not think so.
Yeah.
I would not think so, because when you release NFTs out there in the wild, it's day one from that brand. And unless that brand has a collector base, it's not really going to be worth much. So Alice in Wonderland, she's released her NFTs as being those wearable robes. Now, if those are the only ones that she releases, but she goes on for the next 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years to do events and stuff in Decentraland, she becomes quite famous, and she only says that those that own those early wearables will have access to them, then they will slowly grow in value. But if you're trying to flip them on day one, I don't see why they would have value. Right? You're trying to flip them. Who's going to buy them off you straight away?
So it's not really the point. Like the point of these airdrops, these wearables, isn't so that you have something to flip. It's so that you can go to these events and you can have these experiences, right?
Yeah,
that you would otherwise have to pay for.
Yeah, pretty much. But like the people that come to us now, they're like, all right, what do you want us to do? We can tell them, hey, we want you to just give 50 wearables, and we'll give it to 50 people. We'll do a giveaway, and only 50 people will get it. Yeah. That way, of course, there's going to be demand, because the 50 that get it, they'll probably flip it. Maybe there'll be 1,000 more within the Metakey community and beyond that would want that. But we say no. We want everyone to get one. And so if everyone gets one, then there's way more supply, right? But some of them will go on to be big projects. So, for example, who knows which brand we may come through our door and we'll say, hey, can you give the Metakey a unique art piece? And they give everyone with the Metakey a unique art piece. Maybe if Ferocious was a new artist and we were like, he was part of the Metakey project, then he could have given everyone an art piece, and he's obviously gone on to be quite a big artist, and that would be valuable. But that's taken 6 months to a year plus for Ferocious to grow his brand. So, these things take time, and I think it'll be awesome that, you'll have hundreds of airdrops hopefully in the future, and you can look back, and some of them will appreciate in value, some of them won't. But you may be able to flip them straight away, but you probably won't be able to.
Okay. We have. I've just got one more question for you, Matty.
Okay. When the fourth key? When will the next edition be?
When edition 4?
When moon?
When edition 4, Matty?
When for moon?
When 4?
When edition 4? Edition 4. The more editions we release into the wild, guys, the less price appreciation we have for earlier editions. Generally speaking, that's how it goes if the project doesn't go on to build utility or have a user base that expands. So I can't drop that edition 4 unless 2 things happen. The owner distribution, and if you want to pop up the stats page, we can quickly take a look.
Okay.
the owner distribution increases to a point where it's not just a couple of people that have a ton of them that they're just flipping. So if you check this graph out and you scroll all the way to the bottom, the edition 1 is 84%. What that means is out of 500 people, 420 of them have at least an edition 1, right? Now, that's different. So if that was 10%, that would mean that only 10 people, only 20 people.
10%, 50 out of 500.
Yeah.
It would basically mean we had a bunch of whales that were holding
So
back.
so 10% of the 50 people would own the 500, which basically means that they would keep selling, and keep putting sell pressure. The fact that it's 84% distributed means that there's only, 10 people that have doubles plus, and therefore it's very, very well distributed. So the last one there is edition 3. Now that was 75% or 77% maybe a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Now it's crossing 82%. And that's why we are seeing the price increase. That's why you're seeing today, we actually saw an edition 3 sell for 1 Ethereum.
Yeah, and now it's at like 1.3, I think the floor.
Is
1.2,
it?
1.3.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's 1.2.
Yeah.
So that distribution is very linked to the price appreciation. If we had released edition 4 when that distribution was less and it was only 0.6 Ethereum floor, then it would have crashed those prices a bit. So that thing had to be at a good distribution level, which I think it is. We also need to release more of our roadmap. So obviously we had a question, is Metakey a scam? Because there's 100 different utility things that have not been added yet. And I want to add more utility, right? I want to have more partnerships that we tick off from our roadmap. So we want to build out the Metacademy, get it going, because I think it's extremely compelling that if you have a ton of courses where if you own the Metakey, boom, you can use it in the Metacademy. Therefore, people that own it, why would you want to sell it? When you are continuously getting education first, into this curated education. This is not going to YouTube and searching it where it doesn't exist. This is us reaching out, trying to find experts to add their knowledge nuggets to our Metacademy, right? And we're getting great people. I can get YGG to chip in. I can get DeFi, all the big companies. I can knock on their doors and be like, hey guys, do you want to add to this? And we can have a collab, and they can add a snippet of information on how to do this and that, and it'll be its own Udemy of the NFT space. But I'm trying to find reasons where you want to hold. You want to hold your Metakey. You don't want to as a content creator, as someone that adds YouTube videos and tutorials and all that sort of stuff, I can say, hey, if you want 100 different courses, buy the Metakey. Now, instead of back in the day, you'd pay $500 and you'd get access to only a single course, right? And you can't sell that if you want to. You can't sell that NFT or that access. Now you get that NFT, you get access to hundreds of courses, you can sell it if you want to, but it's different. And I want to have these things in line before we release edition 4. So the Metacademy, a couple of more integrations, maybe Ethermon, maybe lineups with more. I definitely want to get the DCL HQ modeled. So we're in touch with DCL, Decentraland themselves. They may help us build out the HQ. And so there's a way more of a compelling case to hold that edition 4 when it drops. But I'm thinking 4 weeks away, and I keep saying that every time I'm asked. But I think 3 to 4 weeks. And there's also the PFP project. So the PFP project is the avatar that you will get for free if you own any of the current editions or edition 4. And that one, I need to at least get to a stage where we're comfortable knowing that it's at least 2 to 3 weeks after that edition 4 drop. It's not very far into the future. We've got all the art out, we've got the tech figured out, and it won't be too long because it's a promise that comes with the edition.
We don't want to drop them at the same time, because what we've been seeing from recent popular PFP projects is that the gas for edition 4 would just be absolutely insane if we did that. So you guys have probably noticed already that for our PFP project, we're trying to fly under the radar a little bit.
You like comment on the left?
You like that? We're trying to fly under the radar a little bit because it's something we want to provide to you guys and something we think is going to be really compelling and really valuable, but we don't want it to be something that just buries edition 4 in gas war, right? So we'll release edition 4 when we know when the PFP project will be ready, but we don't want to drop them at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, remember the PFP project is going to be for free. And I think with the gas, it should be okay because it's a free claim, so it's not going to have people trying to hammer the buy button.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be okay, but again, the order is still important in the sense that we have the edition 4 and the PFP project somewhere around there that we're comfortable to. So there's a few ducks that need to be in line. Now I actually want to get it out ASAP because there's definitely a demand for it.
Yeah, I agree.
But at least having the Metakademy out and the PFP project landing page so people can know that they're getting that as well with it, and a couple of integrations, right? We literally have 30 partners to integrate with. I think we've knocked out 5 of them. So we have a long way to go. Yeah. 30 of the unlimited amount of partners. So this is just the first batch. Not including the ones knocking on our door that we're doing stuff with, like CyberKongs.
Yeah, all the little
Voodoo and all that stuff. Yeah.
AMAs and drops and stuff. Yeah.
And there's partnerships as well. Just very, very last comment I'd like to make is that the partnerships that we have coming and knocking on our doors, these are great partnerships.
Oh yeah.
But what they do is they actually push out our roadmap promised partnerships further out. We can't do everything. Yeah. So that's where we have to try and prioritize a little bit and have a bit of a discussion as to saying no for some of the stuff that come our way because we just don't have the time now. But so we can focus on what we need to get out and then maybe slowly do more. Yeah,
we're definitely like getting more expedient at partnership management now that we've got the form, and anything that doesn't sort of feel like it's going to contribute directly to our roadmap, we can like put on the back burner a little bit. But it's a process that we're all kind of getting better at all the time, and we'll continue doing that. So, edition 4 when? The answer is soon. Soon. Guys, thank you so much for catching this captain's log. Those of you who've been here for the whole thing, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to chop it up into parts because there were some really, really interesting points here where I think we want to like get them to as many people as possible. But Matty, before we continue on our journey, do you have any closing thoughts? Any calls to action?
Just a big thank you to everyone that supported us, that discusses and brings discussion to the Metakey. Some members we don't ask anything of, but they spend a lot of time bringing value to the Metakey Discord and the project, and they tune in every single time. Their excitement keeps us going. It's fuel for us to be excited about the space. Definitely let us know. We are open for all criticism, however deep that dagger be. So let us know whatever is on your mind, right?
Even if you think it's a scam.
Even if you think it's a scam, whatever it be, I'm here to clarify everything. Michael's here to help bring more depth to anyone's questions. So, we're an open community. We want to be everywhere and be in touch with everyone here. So open to everything, and happy to have you all on the journey. Hope we deliver what you have planned, and excited for the next Captain's Log. And in between then, I think we'll have a lot of progress on a lot of the stuff that we've talked on.
Oh yeah. And if you guys want to get in touch with us or in touch with the community, there will be a bunch of links in the description below to our Discord, to our Twitch, to our Twitter, to Matty's YouTube, where he's streaming live every single weekday, at least, Australian weekdays, 7 p.m. EST. Yep. So that'll be from Tuesday to Saturday. Yeah.
In the Western world.
Yeah,
so Tuesday to Saturday, 7 p.m. EST. That's my Monday to Friday in Melbourne.
Wait, no, that's not right. It's Sunday.
Oh, shit. No. Wait.
It's not Tuesday to Saturday. We got it backwards. It's Sunday
to Thursday.
Sunday to Thursday.
Yeah. Because Melbourne's...
Yes, Sunday to Thursday, 7 p.m. EST.
Melbourne's like pretty much a whole day ahead.
Yes, we're in the future.
Yep. Yeah.
Cool. I think that's it, guys. I think that's a wrap. Thank you so much again for watching, for sticking in here. I hope you guys got the spicy alpha that you were expecting, that I have been promising. I certainly think so. I hope you're as excited about the concept art as I am. We are going to get Billy on to have a chat at some point, definitely, like 100%. And I'm going to keep twisting his arm until he does that Metakademy course, because I think that's just going to be
awesome,
huge. So thank you all very much for watching. We will catch you in the next thing, the next whatever it is. Well, it'll be Matty's live stream, presumably. But until then, good luck on your journeys through the metaverse. Keep plundering, keep exploring, and Good luck, my friends. Take care, everyone.